Are you ready to take yourself on in an entirely new way in 2021? Because let me tell you what, you get to stretch yourself, you get to grow yourself, you get to transform and show up in entirely new ways that you never thought possible. And in this video, I'm gonna give you some tips on how to do that. Welcome to my channel! Happy New Year! This is the first video I've done in the new year. I took a little hiatus, I'm refreshed, I'm refueled, and I am here to show you as an online expert how to become a star quality performer in everything you do with a heavy emphasis on leadership, sales, and marketing. So be sure to subscribe so you and I can take this journey through this whole new year together. So here's the truth, and you've probably heard this before, but if you want to grow your business, it starts with you because your business will never outgrow you. How are you taking yourself on? How are you transforming and bringing about new levels of experience in your finances, in your relationship, in your health, in your business? It all goes together because who you be in one area of life is who you be in another area of life. So you gotta start looking at how you're showing up as a whole. And before we start setting goals and tasks and strategies and all of that stuff, you gotta get clear on your intention and what you wanna create and how do you wanna feel in that process. Because just setting a money goal and making more money, I promise you that is not going to fulfill you. Now, once you have a clear idea of what you want to create in each category of your life, in each area of your life, we're going to ask the hard questions. You get to start taking yourself on by really getting to know yourself, creating that self-awareness, asking yourself hard questions all the time. You want to identify what triggers you, why it triggers you, what are your thoughts, why are you thinking that, where does that limiting belief come from? You want to really start to analyze how you're showing up, and ultimately you want to start creating a new character or identity that isn't different from you, but it's just a higher level of how you're showing up. Because if you have these new ideas and things that you want to create and you want to start feeling a different way, it's going to require you to show up a different way. How is this new vision, this new thing that you want to create in each area of your life, what is it going to require of you? And really stepping into being that person now. So just keep in mind as we're going through this process that you want to be asking yourself questions that challenges your thinking, challenges the way you feel, challenges what your normal day-to-day looks like, because transformation requires you a lot of times to do the exact opposite of what it is you've been doing. And that can feel uncomfortable. You can feel resistance to that. Guess what? That's okay. That means you're moving in the right direction. As long as it's not pushing you into oncoming traffic or it's causing you to foreclose on your house or putting you in any type of danger, you are going to start shifting and moving into a new level of yourself. All right, so let's make this interactive and fun. The second thing I want you to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen. Let's just keep this really simple blank canvas. Draw a circle in the middle, put 2021 intention in the center of the circle because this year gets to be intentional. Everything you do gets to have an intention behind it. No more throwing mud on the wall hoping it's going to stick. Now you can even put your word of the year in the center just so you keep that word of the year clear for you. But around there, we're gonna create the antennas of financial, spiritual, physical, relational, all the different categories of your life that you wanna be focused on. Now, what do you want each category of your life to look like this year? What do you want to create? What do you want to feel? What do you want to achieve? How do you want to show up differently in that category? This is where you can start asking yourself these questions so that you can start to write in each category what you want it to look like. What does your perfect day look like? What does your business look like? What does your health look like? You want to paint the vision of what you want to create so that way we can start to dissect what is in the gap for you right now to help you get there. Now you can take this even deeper and take a page for each of the categories and write down what you're currently doing, split the page in half. What are you currently doing in your health? What should you be doing? Because here's the thing, cognitive dissonance is a real thing. There's a lot of things that you're doing that you know don't work. You know, if you're not working out on a daily basis or at least taking 30 minutes a day to work out, you know that's probably a good thing you should be doing, but you're not doing it. Why? You want to start to identify the gaps so that you can start to see where you can start to fill the holes, where you can start to show up differently, where you get to make new commitments. Now, again, this is where you get to ask yourself questions. Let's take your physical goals for a second here. You write those out. You make a list of what you're currently doing. On the other side of a piece of paper, you're going to write what you really think you should be doing, what would help you go to the next level. Now, you start to ask yourself questions. Why am I not doing that? What's holding me back? What are the excuses? What are the hangups? What is the resistance I have to committing to doing that? Because until you start to take yourself on and ask yourself these questions, it's going to continue to be more of the same. What are you making up about why you're not doing what you're doing? How are you justifying why you're showing up the way you're showing up rather than choosing to show up in a way that you know would be more effective, you know would take you to a new level? Also, what scriptures can you find in the Bible that would support you in creating a new belief system and creating that new mindset that you can meditate on a daily basis? Because here's the thing, transformation requires repetition. So the good news is you're very good at being repetitive. You tell yourself the same things over and over on a daily basis. The thing is it serving you or is it defeating you? Is it holding you back? Is it setting you up for failure or is it setting you up for success? So you want to start to reprogram what you're telling yourself on a daily basis. The best way to do that is to get into God's word and find the facts, the truth about who you are, who you get to be, and where you get to go. Here's what I know. Willpower will never work like God's power. So you want to bring God into the equation. You want to work off of the Holy Spirit working through you. And the best way to do that is to get into the Word, to get supported with the proper scriptures that are going to help you change your mind. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, Jen, yes, I know I need to do all these things, but I can't get myself to do it. Like, what's the key? How do I make the pivot? How do I start to get myself into the motivated side of taking action? Here is the biggest tip. Please don't skip this part. Focus on your intention rather than the result. Okay, if you're constantly setting up your goals and your intention based on a result, a lot of times that can let you down. For example, if you're looking to lose weight and it's been a week and you haven't lost any weight, but you're doing all the things, you're going to feel let down because you haven't lost any weight, because that's why you're trying to do it, rather than you're doing it for self-discipline. You're doing it to practice patience. You're doing it for a deeper reason. The thing about a goal, the thing about transformation is who you become in the process. It's not the result that you necessarily get. Sure, you will get it if you stay consistent, but who are you working on becoming in the process is the very big key. So let me give you an example. For years, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I shouldn't eat sugar. I shouldn't eat carbs. I do eat it here and there, and it's not the best for me. I know that, but I still do it, right? I still do it from time to time. Now, what I decided was that I wanted to go on a 40-day sugar fast, and I initially didn't want to. I saw this book called The 40-Day Sugar Fast, and initially I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to do that. But I realized, what is the deeper thing I could get out of going on a 40-day sugar fast? Well, I can overcome my addictions to sugar, my addictions to carbs. The reality is I don't want anything having a stronghold over me in my life other than having a relationship with God. Nothing should take precedence over that relationship. And when you can let go of the strongholds in your life, the addictions, the bad habits, the bad behaviors, the bad thought processes, when you can let go of those things that are choking you out, that are holding you back, that are making you feel small, and you can release them to have more experience, to have a stronger character, to have deeper faith. And you really focus on that being the intention rather than, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to make $10,000, or I just want to go on a vacation, or something that is like a short-term thing. Then it's going to switch your thought process, and you realize why you're doing it becomes more intentional about you growing and transforming rather than just coming up with this result that's kind of on the surface that doesn't really motivate you in the first place. So as you're making your lists, as you're really deciding what you want to create, who do you want to become, what behaviors it's going to require of you, think about who you're going to be on the other side of that rather than the result that you're going to get. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna get hard. You're gonna be resistant. You're not gonna wanna do it. Recently, I just got my teeth whitened. I'm still going through the process, and I get to avoid coffee for 2 weeks, and it's just killing me. It's so hard. But the reality is God never wants you to run from a hard situation. If it's going to work out growing you as a person, your character, your faith, your relationship with Him, He's never going to want you to run from that. So you get to stick with it. You get to tough it out. And this is where the true transformation starts to take place, when you start to stretch and do the things that you typically wouldn't do. Let's take, for example, if you have a major money story, you have a hard time letting go of money. I would encourage you to go and invest in something, because now you're allowing your money to grow, but it's going to be a stretch for you because you got to let go of that money right now. And I can tell you from experience, when you first start investing, that could be a scary thing to let go of money, to release it, and then think, oh my gosh, like what if this happens? What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't grow? What if I lose my money? But you're changing your money story. Your old story, whatever it is, if it's around your health, if it's around money, it will continue to come back until you choose to start stepping out in new ways, to show proof and to create new experience around what it is that you struggle with. Let me give you another example around having a money story, because I myself had a really crazy money story all my life growing up, and it's taken years to really overcome that. Now, recently we just got a brand new puppy. His name is Gatsby. He's a corgi, and we are just so in love with him. And the moment I laid my eyes on him, I knew I was a yes to this puppy. Now, corgis are high-end purebreds, and they come with a little bit of a heftier price tag. Now, my money story immediately came up. It's something that wants to pop back in my mind, because that is the autopilot that I've had to work on rewiring. So in my heart, I knew this puppy was a yes, and the only thing that wanted to try and stop me was the money. And I encourage you, obviously you want to be responsible with your money. You don't want to make poor investments, and you don't want to do anything that's going to put you in a bad situation, like default on your mortgage or your car or anything like that. So if it's stopping you because you just have that story, but you could actually handle it, go there. Like, you get to go there, because that is the stretch. That is the thing that is going to put you into a new mindset and a new scenario, and creating a new relationship around money. Same thing with anything else that you do, whether it's with your relationships, it's with eating, it's whatever it is. You get to go there and force yourself to stretch in uncomfortable ways, not putting yourself at risk. Okay, so know the difference. You got to determine that fine line, but ultimately, that is the true way to transformation, is showing up and making decisions that you normally wouldn't make because you're in fear around something that really isn't going to harm you if you say yes to it. So with that being said, the next thing you would want to do is create some non-negotiables around these new behaviors and habits and thought processes. So keeping with the money story example, one of the things that I created as a non-negotiable in my life is I will never do something just for the money, because I'm not just about the money. I want to feel joy. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel like I'm making an impact. So it can't just be about the money if it's going to suck away at my soul. The other thing that I made as a non-negotiable is I will never not do something just because of the money. I won't say no just because of the money. I will be resourceful, and I will figure out a way to say yes if it's something that I know I will feel joy and fulfillment from. So what are some things you can put in the comments below that you can create as non-negotiables towards allowing you to show up in new ways when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to aligning yourself with how you truly want to feel fulfilled, and how you're going to create all of these things that you're writing down on this life map. Now, the next thing is you're going to want to create anchors of support, because taking yourself on is no easy feat. To be honest, it's the hardest work you will ever do in your life, to get yourself in a space to where you're willing to transform, you're willing to stretch, you're willing to be uncomfortable. So you're going to want anchors. You're going to want people in your corner, maybe a coach. You can join the Online Performance Club, which is my Facebook community, where we offer support in there and encouragement and training and insights for you to really start to level up in these new ways. What are some anchors for you? It could be people, it could be committing to getting into the Bible daily and really focusing on God's word. It could be multiple different things that you set up as anchors for you to feel supported, encouraged, and that you're on the right track. And lastly, be a yes to yourself. Be a yes to what is going to fuel your soul, what is going to create more connection, more intimacy with people, what's going to grow your relationships, what's going to grow your business. Be a yes to those things for the right reasons, because it's going to grow you, because it's going to make an impact, because it's going to serve, not because you're going to acquire something. Let me give you an example. One of the ways that I'm stretching myself this year is being more consistent with showing people love through greeting cards. You know, my grandma sends my kids happy birthday cards, and people send us cards all the time for different reasons. And, you know, when we have a birthday or whatever, we'll go to the store and we'll buy a card. Well, the reason I'm not very consistent with just sending thank you cards or thinking of you cards or happy anniversary cards and really showing people love in that way is because I don't think about it. And then I think, oh, I got to go to the store and get a card and blah, 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 right? So what I decided to do is I decided to buy a 100 box set collection of greeting cards, and I just got it off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below. But what's really cool about that is it's going to remind me as I see that box every month that I can look at the events coming up. Maybe I want to celebrate something one of my clients did and I want to send them a card, or maybe I want to send someone a happy birthday and buy them a cup of coffee. Whatever that looks like, I get to create more connection. So you got to ask yourself, with the things that you're putting on these lists of what you want to create, what are some activities and actions that you can take to really start to draw more of that out? So be a yes to others and be a yes to yourself. So at the end of the day, the biggest thing you could do is start to commit to yourself, start to commit to God. What is His plan for you? What is His vision for you? Not saying, hey, I have this vision, God, can you bless it? But hey, God, what is your vision for me to make an impact, to serve, to show up stronger, to show up faithful, to show up fervent, and go out there and walk that walk. No matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how much you're in resistance to it, the moment that you make a commitment to go out there and do it, be your word, trust yourself, and know that you are going to be taking yourself on in an entirely new way and come out the other side so amazingly confident, so amazingly sure of what your next steps get to be. And I'm going to be here rooting you on. So be sure to subscribe. Let's hang out here. Again, you can join the Online Performance Club, my Facebook group community. We would love to have you in there. And just stay tuned, because there is more awesome videos to come all around sales, marketing, growing your business, but most importantly, growing. Be sure to keep the faith, impact the world. God bless, and I'll see you soon.